So, how did you do on the Leo solar eclipse, August 12th? That's where all this starts. Did you get confirmation that what you began in February was the right move? Or did you find out you should have taken that risk, stopped that relationship, taken that job, whatever it is? Did you get a sense on the eclipse day or in that window? Did you get a sense that you need to do something different? Happens to all of us. All you have to do is begin again. That's all you have to do, is just make a new decision. That's it. The Leo solar eclipse was so important because it is our ego being told that it's not the most important thing to think about. What's the most important thing is getting centered in your truth. There is objective truth, and then there is your personal truth about your life. Are you living authentically? That is what the solar eclipse in Leo is about. It is about living authentically, each of us, so that we can join together and help the collective evolve from where we are today. That is the whole ball game. These large energies is what I'm interested in. I'm not an astrologer. I don't pretend to be an astrologer, but I have been following these large energies in my creative life forever. I haven't talked about it. It blew my mind that this was going to be my last act. That I was going to finally talk about something that the church calls sacrilegious, that the church said is evil. That's not true. It is so amazing to me that humans have all this information. We have our beautiful holy books. We have leaders that from ancient times that taught us how dangerous this world once was for humans. And here in the 21st century, we still go by those same ideas. Now, faith is required. Religion is not. And the faith should be our truth, and the faith that our lives are worth living. But they're worth living not just for our own gratification, but we are meant to find our truth so all of us can lift ourselves up. We certainly need to do that. Welcome. I'm Taylor Marsh, author and host of Blew My Mind. Now, for 2,000 years, holy books have been the way we understand human life, how we make sense of our existence, this spirit in a body. But we are in a body. We cannot neglect that body. And that is one lesson that humans are not learning. The whole longevity craze revolves around immortality. We are not immortal. We are not supposed to be. Humans incarnate. We do it again and again. And if you've lived a life and experienced the knowledge that you have lived before, what are you going to do with that? What does that mean for your life today? That is what is important. Now, these large energies can be instructive. And that doesn't mean your religious faith is being betrayed. It's all a part of the same thing. Now, one of the things we have to understand during these eclipses is sometimes you get energies and you get insights, and it's something that you don't really understand, but you feel something is coming. This happens to me all the time, especially around these tectonic moments of solar eclipses and lunar eclipses like we're going to have on Friday. And for me, over many, many years, what I have to do, either I have to take a long race walk or I do intense gardening. Now, what is intense gardening? Well, in the 7 years we've lived here, the weather has changed dramatically. Some of the plants we bought 7 years ago can't withstand 100-degree weather, and they're put in very large pots. So I chose this last few weeks to remove these plants from these pots because they weren't happy, and move them to shadier places and buy plants that love 100-degree weather. And this was a very physical exercise. And at the end of it, I had so many epiphanies come through and synchronicities while I was doing this. And I was thinking about this podcast and how I was going to put into context these energies. And it is so interesting to understand that these eclipses don't just happen, they happen on a particular day, but the energies of them, they go for many, many, many weeks. And this particular set of eclipses, getting rid of the last 18 months and looking toward the next 18 months, you have Aquarius in the lead as the north node. Now, Aquarius is also the age we're in for the next 20 years. And what is alongside Aquarius in this 20-year quest is unearthing energies in the underworld. What is the underworld for me? It is dark energy. Aquarius age will unearth dark energy, and the Leo solar eclipse on the south node will expose this dark energy for all to see, because Aquarius is about the collective, and Leo is showy personal ambition, it's drive, it's wanting to share with the public something you are about. But the downside, the dark side of Leo, is thinking that you are so special and these other people don't have anything that you need to move the world as you would like. Now, there is something called the synchronicity game that I play. Now, I know that the church thinks this is sacrilege because they see anything predictive as God's work. Well, God can't predict anything either. God energy can't predict anything because humans make choices every day. We can choose one way or the other, light energy or dark energy. And with this Leo South Node solar eclipse, as we've been seeing over the last weeks, we are seeing dark energy be exposed. We are seeing weakness shown from these influencers that think they can make no mistake and you should follow them. All these people that think they are the ones to follow, something from the outside in, all this is meant to crumble, because it takes each person finding truth, finding their own authenticity, opening up that well of energy so that your intuition is engaged, but that your instincts can be trusted. And the synchronicity game starts with our president. President Trump is a Gemini sun, but he is a Leo rising. And in the last few weeks, what have we seen? We see a president who started a war with Iran that no prior politician thought was smart. But he thought he could do something different. Well, he has changed everything. This man is a change maker. You can see it throughout his birth chart, and I'll let that, astrologers can handle that. I can handle the large energy, because this large energy hitting him is hitting him in ways that bring an awakening of desperation. And we've seen ridiculous stories come out about, one in particular was him getting in a catering truck to dodge an alleged attack against him from Iran, and letting other people leave in Air Force One, and nobody caring what happened. There's that weirdness. There is a lot going on with him, but because the planet of action, which is Mars, old astrology says that's the planet of war. Actually, it's just every energy has a darkness to it and a lightness to it. And we are here to find the light energy, not revel in the dark energy. And it happens when people, that's what cults are about. Living off one person's reputation and thinking that that person is the one that can lead you to nirvana or whatever. He has the planet of action in Leo. He also has the underworld energy of Pluto in Leo. And our president also has a very personal relationship with the Great Awakener, the planet that shocks us and moves us in ways we don't understand. And it's not the planet, it's the energy associated, the mythology. And this is Uranus. This is all this change energy. But the most important thing is, if we look at President Trump's actions from the time he took president the first term in 2016, and we see him today at 80, what are the chances he is going to change his egotistical rebranding of everything in America, and especially in Washington, D.C., where I used to live in that area, make his mark on that? Now, he can make his mark, but that doesn't mean it'll stay, because he does not have the people behind him anymore. And that is the most desperate moment in any leader's life. Now, I can't predict, nobody can predict what will happen, but he is being challenged, and the synchronicity of all these planets pushing him to make a different choice, to make a choice in humanity's favor. There's no evidence he's going to do that. So his power has already begun to wane, because these things don't happen on a dime, and it will continue to drop. Now, will that mean he leaves office? Not necessarily. Does that mean that light energy will take its place? Depends on the way we use our energy. We need to synchronize and think of the collective, not just my own power, my own perch in politics or in corporations. These social media, the AI community that thinks they are going to be the be-all and end-all of humanity, are being challenged, and they are going to be challenged for the next 20 years, because the collective is more important than AI, a company, or anything else. If we do not act as a collective, we don't stand much chance. So we have Trump with all this Leo energy begging him to make a different choice, and there's no evidence he will. So the prediction is easy, but that doesn't mean he'll be gone. We'll have to wait and see. The other person in the limelight is J.D. Vance. Will he succeed him? Well, he's got Leo Sun. He was born in August, and he's also got Leo rising. So he's under the same problem that Trump is. And his popularity never really got going. And it's not going to get going if he continues to do what he's always done. There will likely be, is this a prediction? No, this is me looking at the synchronicity and me looking at the history of people and the way they act and saying, there's very little chance that our hillbilly vice president will change from this ego stance. He is very close to tech, all these tech bros. There's a lot of problems with people who have all this power, whether it's Elon Musk or Zuckerberg or the AI companies. Everybody's going to have to adjust because this 18 months, because we're in the Aquarian Age, this dark energy will be exposed. We will see it. You and I will see influencers on Instagram, new influencers that are more helping to other people rather than I have the answer. Each person has an answer for themselves. And unless you get to the truth, and that's what eclipses do, they come in and they shake us loose from our comfort zone. If you have a crutch, chances are at some point in your life, you're going to have that crutch removed. I don't care what it is. And it might happen during an eclipse season. Is this predictive? No, it's called synchronicity. And we have lots of leaders who are thinking only about themselves, and they are going to fall, all of them. And this year could be quite a year. If you want to help the collective, the best way to do that is to make sure right now that you are registered to vote. That is a collective action that humans make. They made it in Missouri and in Kansas recently. We are making it across the board in city after city, looking for better leaders for all of us so we can all rise. In order for that to happen, you have to have truth. You can't, Trump talks about, I know what to do. His instincts are so far off course because when you are driven by lies and ego, your intuition isn't even plugged in. And if it tells you something, it's your ego talking. You have to get to the point where you don't live any lies in your life. And you can authentically say, I want to do that, but it isn't for me because I can't get it started. And what I'm really good at is this, and I don't really want to do it. I'm scared of it. That is a sign. That is a sign of evolution. Evolution can be scary. This eclipse on Friday is the last eclipse before Pisces hands off this completely to Aquarius. And this is going to be 18 months of leveling up for the light workers and exposing the dark energy because there's no room in the Aquarian Age for ego. Sure, ego for good, but you always will be humble and think of how this will affect others. It is not predictive. It is synchronistic. So let's see if these Leo leaders finally admit they've been wrong. What do you think the chances are? I think it's a safe, synchronistic prediction that Vance and Trump will lose altitude in the next 18 months, but certainly the rest of this year. That doesn't mean that they can't amass new energy. Dark energy never dies away completely unless you change your track completely. What do you think the chances of that happening to our president and vice president? So, thanks so much for listening. I'm Taylor Marsh. You can catch me at taylormarsh.com or on Instagram or the socials. Thanks so much for listening. Take it easy on Friday. Take it easy through September. These eclipses right now, they line up. They're synchronistic with the age we're in, and we're all meant to level up. Evolution is real. We're living it.